They say that the fossil record documents how a dog-like or maybe even a cow-like creature might have evolved into a whale. Okay? That's hard to picture, isn't it? Can you picture what a half cow, half whale looks like? You can draw a picture and send it to me, okay? when you finally come up with it. But here's what, well, that's what they're thinking it looked like. Somehow or another, the cow had 4 legs. Now it's going to get hungry for fish, crawls back into the ocean, and changes into the whales, sea lions, and porpoises. And that's very necessary for evolution right now. And the reason it's necessary is that they recognize that mammals have special traits, such as mammalian birth, that you can't develop underwater. So you have to get the animal, the fish, changing in the amphibians, eventually crawling out of the ocean, changing into the reptiles, and then eventually mammals. You have to get them out of the water first before you can develop mammalian type birth. That's the idea. And so they've been looking for the links all along, and they say, we found them. Well, I'm not sure they found them, okay? I'm not sure. And but here's what they're showing, and they show several different things, a good variety. But keep in mind that some of those things that they actually found, that's a good artwork on those pictures. All right? Very fragmentary things that they have found, but they think this is what it looks like. Some of the things they actually say they found, which is like hip structure in the whale. Oh, hip structure. Well, hips are like mammals, right? And they even have one bone, they think it might be a leg. But a leftover. The interesting thing about it is the hip structure doesn't necessarily mean it's walking on land. When you have a long creature like that, like let's call him Basil, okay? All right? Basilosauridae, that's what they're actually calling him. But when you look at that guy right there, he's long. If you're going to give birth, what do you need? Pretty good. If it's a water mammal, you need, in order to push, you have to have muscle attachments someplace. They have to attach to something. And that particular thing called, what they call frequently, a pelvic girdle, like a cow might have, or a horse, might have been nothing but basically muscle attachments in order to be able to do the pushing necessary for birth. That was a well-designed feature. The bone that they're finding that they frequently called a leg, they call it a leg, but the people who actually found it called it an appendage. Not necessarily a leg, but everybody, if I talk to students, guess what they're going to say? That was a leg. How come they found a leg on a whale? Turns out it's not necessarily a leg on the whale at all. The original people that found that thing actually said that this appendage looked like it was very important because of a long body, a very long thing. It was very important if in reproduction. Very important. And basically it was used in order to be able to have the male and the female get together and to be able to eventually give birth. Okay? It was just necessary for that. So not necessarily a leg on a whale. So if you ask if they found legs on real whales, no, they haven't found legs on real whales.